There was a major physical, violent attack yesterday in New York in the subway system. The information about this attack was really muddy and really vague. The good news is that though a gunman walked into a subway car, had gas canisters, had gas masks, had guns, apparently fired lots of rounds, only 10 people were shot. And apparently, last time I checked the news on this before the show, no one had died. Some people were in critical condition, but it was stable. A couple dozen more were injured just from people trampling them or from smoke inhalation or getting off. But this was a major attack. And there's a rule. I think maybe it was Ann Coulter who came up with this rule. At least she's popularized it. When you do not immediately hear about a suspect's race or sex or religion, you can know with 100% certainty that the suspect is not a straight white Christian man. You can know that, because if there's even a chance that the suspect who's committed the crime is a straight white Christian man, that will be the first thing in the headlines. And frankly, even if the guy who is the perpetrator here or the suspect isn't white, but is plausibly, maybe there's a chance he's white and a man and straight and Christian, you'll see that in the headlines. You saw this notably in the killing of Trayvon Martin. They said, white man kills black teenager in this neighborhood. And he wasn't a white man. George Zimmerman's a Hispanic guy. And then the New York Times said, well, he's a white Hispanic guy. Looks like a Hispanic guy to me. They just got excited because they saw a name that seemed white. They saw he's a man, and so they ran with the headline. And so the minute I saw, we don't know who the suspect is, we don't know it, I said, okay, well, it's not a straight white Christian man. I can know that, not because I know anything really about crime or justice, it's just because I know the media so well. And it turns out that that's right. They finally named a person of interest, Frank James. Still wasn't seeing a ton of information about him. And so Frank James is a 62-year-old black guy who has expressed radical racial political views on the internet. Here's just one clip that's going around.
I had no idea with that African name that she would be married to a white man. One of my subscribers brought that to my attention. Yeah. Our black sister, Supreme Court Justice, power to the people, is married to a white man. She's I don't believe this shit. Oh, God. Wait a minute. This is the motherfucker. Right there he is. There he is, right. White man. Black sister. Ketanjate, motherfucker. Married to a white man.
Can you believe that? That awful woman married to a white man. This guy, I think, is nuts. I watched some of his other videos, and generally speaking, they are not presenting a coherent political ideology. Generally speaking, he just seems like a crazy person. But he does express some views on his politics. And what he's expressing is clearly a black nationalist, anti-white kind of political ideology. I don't even want to say it. Do I have to? I guess I have to say it. If the shoe were on the other foot, can you imagine what the media would say? I have to say it just to get it out there. If there were a similarly crazy white guy who said all sorts of crazy things, but then also said, I hate it when white guys marry black women. Isn't that horrible? That's terrible to the white race. Every single headline would be, the white supremacy is a terrible problem in America. All the white people are so awful, and we have got too much whiteness, and we got to abolish whiteness. But you're not going to hear any of that. The absence of that kind of talk here, which I think, frankly, might even be merited, because I assume the guy actually is just nuts. I don't know that this is the terror attack of some political revolutionary genius. I think it's probably a pretty mentally disturbed guy who also has pretty disturbed racial and political views. But the absolute absence of talk about this, of the black nationalism, of the anti-white bigotry, the absence is the indictment. And it's not even the indictment of this guy, it's the indictment of the legacy establishment liberal media. Right now, go to goodranchers.com/Knowles. Most people listening to this show right now have never in their entire lifetimes seen inflation like we are seeing right now. And that inflation is particularly pronounced when it comes to food. What if I told you you can inflation-proof your food purchases right now forever? And I'm specifically talking about the most important delicious food you put on the table. I'm talking about beef. And better than organic chicken too. But I'm more concerned with that steak, with those burgers, with that ground beef. You can subscribe right now to Good Ranchers. They already have ridiculously low prices for fabulous quality meat. Amazing American beef and meat from American ranches. And you just get locked into that price forever. And you get another $30 discount on top of that for their prime steaks, for their better than organic chicken. The way to do it, it's not too good to be true. This is for our listeners. Go to goodranchers.com/Knowles to save on the quality you've been looking for. Good Ranchers takes all the guesswork out of the grocery store, sources everything locally. Use code Knowles, Knowles, on your box of 100% American meat, and you will get your $30 savings. I suggest you subscribe. You can also buy the boxes one-off to give it a try. Order now to combat inflation with Good Ranchers, American meat delivered. I'm glad you liked that clip. Now, ring the bell. Subscribe, get those notifications. We'll see you next time.